And I think I'm gonna have to go through one of these games. I really wish I could not play provisional players on these non-ranked games, because like this is obviously not going to lead to any teaching, like this particular game, because you do kind of like I said, there's a range of 4 to 14 Q that I teach, because the games are easily reviewable for me in that range. Whereas this, like, it almost like is seeming that he's playing five in a row rather than playing Go. I think I'm just gonna like quit out of this game eventually, because this is not worth my. I just can't really do anything with this game. Um, in terms of teaching, it's not really teachable. And I think like you do need to learn more of the concepts of Go before you really get into playing. I think if you read a couple of books, you can get to 20Q pretty easily, or like above 20Q pretty easily. Because like you would know to play the corner points and other things. Like, I'm not gonna play this game because I'm here to teach. I'm here to teach a certain level, and I'm not really interested in playing these type of games. Like that one was not. That game was really not teachable, unfortunately for me. That's something that you need to read some books, or like you would get. Those are like the very basics. All right, this is better. This is better. We'll do like a handicap six game. I don't know if I can win handicap six, but we'll see. Because I don't really, not really sure if this will actually work. But this is a better game than the last one, because when you're 10K, you do know like the basic things about playing. Where like that guy was just playing a random diagonal like at the bottom line, which didn't really make that much sense to me. So taking two corners and solidifying two corners on handicap six is actually much harder for me to play against than just um, than is much harder for me to play against taking two corners on handicap six and solidifying than other stuff, because like you already have solidified territory, plus you have all four of the corners, so it's harder for me to it's much harder for me to actually get an advantage in this particular way, especially if you know the Josekis. If you don't make any big errors, it is hard for me to play. That's like when players get to the Dan level, even like the best players in the world like have a hard time doing like 6 or 7 stones, um, because like you just have to get so much of an advantage back in the game. Like when I play the AI, it's always with like I have a it favors me when I do six handicap when I play the AI. It favors them when it's five handicap, because like yeah, it's just that's fine. Um, I probably should have just gone the other way, but this should be okay. This invasion I would never do in an even type game. Um, is mainly because it's like I want to create a weak group for black for me to actually attack. Whereas in an even game, I don't really need to do that. Okay. Um, you definitely want to Hane this if you're. I think I need to do this, but you definitely would want to Hane that. You would definitely want to block that way as well. This gives me a much better shape to actually work with. And it might actually give me the means to connect on the bottom. If I double Hane. Okay, it's a decent move. It does give me a way to live around the corner, though. I'm just gonna go ahead and actually, that's not a good move. I'll just go under. It's a decent amount of territory for me to actually get that way. He does build. I mean, that's not much of a moy over there. I can still attack it later. But it does give me some territory down here. It does let my group connect, and it gets me out of a lot of stuff. So good for me, definitely. That's never really a good move. Because even if I just connect, you're still making me a little bit stronger than what I was. Hey man, what's up? Real FMNG. Alright, let's do this. It's fine. I did give him the corner territory though. I've got a bunch of weak groups, but when you're giving handicap 6, this is pretty much always going to happen. I definitely don't favor plays like that. In the attacking, I think you're better off at doing stuff like that. I do think that this is still something that is playable right now. So I can't go the traditional route. If I go the traditional route, I can ko this. But I don't think this route really works either. It might. I don't know why you would go that way. I don't think going this is good, so I'm just going to come up here. I managed to decrease his corner territory while basically solidifying this group. So that's good for me. Well, it's not really solidified, but it's close enough. It's close enough where at this level I'm not really worried about him actually killing me. And now I have to go invade other things. Usually, like, you would definitely make, in an even game, you would definitely make a move to strengthen this group. But right now, like, I can't really afford that. So on your channel, live streaming is probably the best way. Here you just want to solidify this territory. And I know that territory looks big, but it's not that, it's pretty easily invadable. I mean, he's obviously winning because he has a huge lead initially, but of a handicap 6, but I'm gonna try to make use of this particular group. I mean, it's not really that weak, but at the same time, like, you just have to play off the difference in your actual playing skill. In like your playing, yeah. Gonna have to go there. But anyways, just use the difference in playing strength to actually try to make something happen. Here we go. Yeah, I almost misclicked there. Because if you don't, then he's just going to win, obviously. This is actually a mistake here. It does let me connect. Now, he's not actually dead, because I don't think I can actually kill him. But heck, I gotta give it a shot, right? That's weird. I think I should just connect here. If I can kill this, I mean, like, I've gotten a lot of territory. way more than he can actually get there. That's not really true either, I guess, but need to solidify that. That's actually not Sente, but I guess it can be. See if I can just get another one, because I'm still a little bit worried about the composition right here. I really shouldn't be. Okay, that's kind of what I was fishing for. Now I need to figure out what to do about this. Because if I give him all that territory, he's still way ahead. Well, maybe not way ahead, but at least somewhat ahead. Right, so he goes down there to secure that. Like, you need to somehow use your advantage here to actually... I'm not exactly sure how that thing even lives, because I don't really see a way. I really legitimately don't see a way how this works. But I kind of have to make something up as I go along. That doesn't work out to do this. Like, I actually don't think this works at all. Unless I come out this way. Now, this is a risk, because coming down here, he cuts this off completely, and you're going to have to deal with this, obviously. So this is not something that I would recommend really anyone do. Obviously I have to do this. This is not really something I'd recommend anyone do. I don't think this is going to work. I mean, I don't know why you would do that, but sure. Small advantages, but it's still not a huge success because there's still a lot of territory down here. And I'm not really sure how I'm going to get what I'm going to do about that. I don't think I can do anything about that, actually. But yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. You would, you obviously just do this, but okay, I guess that was somewhat successful. Oh wait, this is still dead if he does this, I think. Yeah, it is. Sort of. Yeah, it's still dead. Can I back in this way? I don't know if this works. I'm kind of hoping it does, but I don't know if it actually works. Okay, that was fine. I'll take this stone. Stone's good enough. It fixes a couple of problems. Yeah. Don't know if I'm winning here, though, because... still a lot. Guys, please hit the likes and subscribes. That really, really helps me a lot. For more content on this channel. That is the lifeblood of YouTube. I don't know how this works, actually. I mean, I do know how this works, obviously, but it's kind of difficult to actually, like, it is very, very difficult for me to, that's not a good move. Okay, that I don't think you needed to do that, but maybe. Yeah, that's fine. Still a lot of points there, you know. Still a whole lot of points there. But I just need to make sure I can get advantages. Small advantages in terms of, you know, stuff like this. That's a lot of points that he just missed there. That's no longer relevant. I mean, I guess I can connect it. It's not that relevant though. To take that. Yeah, that's a large amount of territory there. Still, I don't think it's enough for me to win actually, but it's a large amount of. It might be enough because I have a lot here too. I haven't counted this, and I'm not very good when I don't count. About determining who wins and loses, because it's not. This particular game is not as clear cut as some of the others. It's worth a couple. The corners are probably bigger though. Corners are probably bigger. Yeah, the corner's definitely bigger. And the territory down there just might be too big. That's actually not that big, but there's nothing left. Right. Yeah, that's quite a few points there. It's the main thing I'm kind of concerned about, because this territory is very, very big. But then I have this as well, so we'll see. It's weird. Going down here is more points. This game's pretty close, so these small points actually do matter. I should have done that first. These small points do actually matter. This is a co for, should have threw in here first. Actually no, because if we threw in here I'd probably just retreat. Then he can't do anything. Oh, that's big too. Oh yeah, that's another corner. That is another corner, I forgot about that. It's a couple of things to fill in here, not that much. Zatari. I could have tried to live down here, but I just didn't really see a way of living down there, so I didn't really bother to try. Maybe I should have though. Maybe I should have. But I personally don't think there was anything there, so. Alright, 2 last dames, then we're good. There's one here and one here. We don't need to fill those in. Because this is not Japanese counting rules, it's Chinese counting rules, so we don't really need to fill those in. I won by 3.5. I actually won by the Comey this time. But I knew this was pretty close. I didn't really. I could have definitely done better here by like taking the corner points and stuff like that. Won by a couple more. So let's go back and review this game. So I'm not great at playing these high handicap games. I'm not great at playing these high handicap games. I know, like, like when you take a handicap like this instead of the center stones, it actually is harder for me to play. Like the AI doesn't like it, but it's much harder for me as a player to actually play because there's not like you're just securing more territory and there's less points for me to attack from the stronger player's perspective. So I could go here, but I'm just gonna play this for right now. I should have played this like I usually do. I probably will next time. So I didn't really answer. I just came up this way. That's not a good invasion, but I needed to see how he would actually play. So this particular invasion, this is probably the best move to answer this because this group is very weak. So by doing this, you put a lot of pressure on this group. I can do this, and then you can probably, like, after cutting off my base, your attack against me is just a lot more, after cutting off the base, my base, your attack against me is a lot more oppressive. Yeah, I can do this, because it's hard for you to, like, really disconnect me. If you try to disconnect me here, I'll probably live over here, so that's why taking away the base is taking away the connections really important. Remember, like, you're much better off if your opponent has two weak groups rather than one weak group. Or no weak groups. So I do this. This is something that you will learn pretty fast, and that if I do this, the best answer in this kind of shape is always to Hane, because you want to be outside your opponent. And as long as your opponent doesn't have, like, an immediate response that can really threaten you, this is fine. Because if I do this, you can go here, and then, you can just play this way while making territory on the bottom. Gonna do this. This is the best move, but I think, like, if I were to play, I would probably play this. Because it cuts off the bottom, and even if he Hane's here, you can do that, and you can just double Hane on this. So, and this ladder works for you, so I can't cut here. So yeah, like this, either this or this is the best move. I should have done this over again, but I kind of wanted you to play this way, so I can just have, like, the free over. Oh yeah, this was a better move, because I could have just taken that, sacrificed the stone. Connect. And of course, I'm going to get over. The thing about this is, like, this kind of shape is not very strong, and I got some territory on the bottom, so I was satisfied with that. I took care of my weak group, got some territory, didn't give up too much over here. So, the thing about this is, you should try to escape this. Like, by white doing this, I'm creating two weak groups. But because this is a handicap game, I'm depending on, like, my fighting skills to be better than yours, so that's why I'm doing this. Like, in a regular game where you're not starting with a huge disadvantage as white, you would not attack this, because if you attack this, the two weak groups are going to be very hard for you to handle, because black's pretty strong in the corner, Black is actually pretty strong in the corner, and this stone, this stone over here with these three over here is pretty weak. So I do this. He jumps up. I'm gonna jump up. That's the right move, because once again, you just go ahead and do this. There's very little way for white to actually escape. For dealing with invasions into Moyos, sometimes, a lot of times with invasions into Moyos, you don't actually have to destroy the Moyo. You don't actually have to destroy the Moyo. You just have to you honestly just have to reduce it. I think that's what a lot of players miss. Because he had to play a lot of stones to get that Moyo, and you probably got a lot of territory with him playing those other stones. So he's giving you a lot of territory to make that Moyo, so if you can just reduce it enough, not necessarily completely invade it, you don't generally want to throw a stone in the middle of the Moyo, but if you can just reduce it by a couple of lines, it actually might be enough to win. You have to, that's when you have to count and consider, how much you actually need to win. Now that's not really that great of a move. I'm trying to obviously get the Sente repair, so I personally don't like this move that much, but it's the only way I can see where I can get the double, where you can't, if I do this, you can't just completely pin me in. So you do this, yeah, this is the better move, because then if you do this, I can just sacrifice this one stone. So that is the better move. Decided to just go with a double so you can't pin me in. This side is going to be better. This side's going to be better because you want to threaten these stones more now. These stones are worth more than these two, so you want to threaten these stones, whether either to kill them or at the very least, what you want to do is threaten these stones so you can solidify your bottom and make more territory that way. So that's why this is generally a lot more threatening than this. And plus, if you do this and white does this, he just kind of is kind of playing on the outside of your stones here. So I do that. I don't think this is a great move. I can choose to ignore it and play down here because these stones are a lot more urgent. I don't really want to give that up because that's too much territory to give up in a handicap game, so I'm going to connect. And this isn't necessary. This is completely an unnecessary move because, once again, threatening this group over here is the better play. You already have the stone down here. I don't really have a way to make a base down here, so this group is actually more in danger than this group over here because I have a connector over here. I also have ways to make eyes down here. So just by playing this particular move, it's not that threatening to these stones, whereas playing something like this is much, much more threatening to these 5 stones. Of course, the move I should make is to come down here. But the thing is, I'm because you're ahead by so much, I want to take away some of the territory in the corner. I play here, play there. I'm gonna play over here because if I do this, you can kill me by doing that. I think. Maybe not. I'm not really sure. Maybe I should have just played the Ko. Maybe I should have just played the Ko. But this is another way. This is definitely the way to go here. Most definitely the way to go here. I would have actually played this and then extended down here. If you wanted to kill me, I would have played that. And I think I might actually win on the liberties. But doing this, I think, is giving me too easy of an out. This is the best play. This ensures you capture this stone. Whereas if you Atari this way, I can connect here. I can't connect here right now, but in the future I can connect there. So I pushed up. Yeah, this is the better way to go. As long as you take this stone, you're alive. So yeah, letting me basically do that. You don't really want to take this stone. You definitely want to either do this or do this. Taking the stone and letting me have this. If you let me have this, there's a lot more eye space down here. You connect. I'm actually going to come out here. Because now, I can sort of threaten this. This is not really that threatened, but I can sort of threaten this. This is big because then you can play, you're threatening M2. So this actually has to be answered. And it also takes away my eye space. So this is not the biggest move, obviously. This is most obviously not the biggest move. because this is just me trying to reduce this territory over here. The best move is either strengthening here or strengthening this group because I've got too many weak groups. I also think you went the wrong direction with this move. You should have played out here instead, I think, because I'm actually gonna have to struggle a little bit to actually make this group alive. And as I struggle a little bit, you're getting stronger on the outside, and with the strength on the outside, because this group is fairly strong, this group is not threatened with black. You can actually attack, like let's say I do this and I live, right? You can actually attack my group here. And through attacking my group, no matter what I actually do, like through attacking my group, you can actually make a lot of territory down here. And remember, like this group is not alive either, so I can't. The thing is, like this group is not really alive either, so I can't really just. I really can't just like ignore you too much because this group might actually be in danger, and plus I can't ignore the fact that you actually have this move later that can actually threaten to cut off the two groups I have, right? Because this would be pretty bad if I lose either of those two. So realistically, like, and if you're not confident enough to attack that way, you can just go over here and try to like make this huge moil while attacking this group. Your group's not really that much in danger. And there's many, many ways for you to threaten cuts on my group here. So, even if you do that, I can't really do anything, right? Like, there's just so many problems here for white that white can't seal you in. And as long as white can't seal you in, you're fine making that territory down there. Even if you make that territory, like, you're probably going to win. And white has all these cuts up here that he has to take care of, like, just by attacking this group, you can make this big territory down here. If you look at all the higher level players, very few of them actually make big territories by like trying to just surround a territory. Almost every single one of them will try to gain some advantages elsewhere, play sentes elsewhere, or try to attack a weaker group to make the territory come to fruition. So, like that's kind of like that's what like people are constantly trying to do as you advance up the ranks. Need to live, and I didn't understand how he realized a dead shape within the first few stones I've. Well, that's Kim. That's more like familiar. Sorry, that's more like familiarity. I just realized the microphone was over there. I'm hoping you guys could still hear me. I mean, that's more of just like being That's actually just more being familiar with the shape. Like Dan players are far more familiar with like live shapes and dead shapes. But the thing is, like, when you're 17Q, like. When you're 17Q, like noticing like what basic shapes are dead and what basic shapes are alive is very important. But the thing is, like, when you get to like, when you get to like, 5Q, 6Q, like, 8Q, 9Q or something like that, you'll recognize those shapes pretty quickly as to which ones are alive and which ones are dead. And then you need to and then at that point you need to be able to decipher which groups are weak and which groups aren't. So I decided to invade here. Not a good move, but once again, like, you definitely need to, I think you would definitely need to try to attack on the outside and then use that advantage to attack this group down here. Like, how to play off different weak groups is something that I find like people in the mid SDKs don't really know how to do. When I play handicap games against mid SDKs, they always let me connect my groups. And that's a great way to squander a lead. And the thing is, like, you shouldn't really be afraid of losing because, if your main goal should be trying to progress up the ranks, especially on OGS. You're not really playing tournament or anything for a cash prize or anything. So it doesn't really matter if you lose all that much. So you should be trying to learn these basics because if you learn these things, you just generally become a lot stronger and you can go up a level. And plus the prizes for like Go tournaments in like the Q level isn't really that much. If I remember correctly, when I played it, it was always like $50, like $100 or something, right? So like, trying to get better should be the first priority. Because even if you're trying to get that prize money, like the prize money for Dan level players is still a lot higher. And eventually you want to get there. So especially when you're playing online, like try to learn these things. If you lose a couple of games, while like making obvious mistakes, you learn from those obvious mistakes. Like, when you hear me, when I'm playing on Fox, there is online tournaments. I don't take part in them because there's too big of an incentive to cheat using AI. And it's very hard to tell if you just use it every once in a while, at critical points. The thing is, like, you're going to make, like, especially if you're lower ranks, like, you're going to make stupid moves and lose games. But the thing is, if you keep shrinking, especially if you're playing against a better player, if you keep shrinking back and you're too afraid to actually play those moves, I mean, you're eventually going to get nickel and dime to death anyways. And you're not really going to learn as much. So here, I think this is like, he's trying to make this territory down here. I think this is too passive. I'm pretty sure, like, if I was playing, I would definitely move here. If I move here, I'm attacking both this group and this group. You may not be able to kill them, but I think you can force enough benefits from attacking those groups to actually win the game. So, remember, here you're still up by 60 points. I didn't really decrease the advantage up to here. So, like, the thing is, like, and if you're not confident enough to actually go ahead and attack this group, at least play this move. Because this move puts enough pressure on these two stones for him to actually do something like this. And then with him doing something like this, you can see how this big moyo is coming together. If you're not that confident, you can do that. Like, you can see how this big moyo is coming together. And plus, like, these two groups, like, this group is still not that strong. So he doesn't have that much strength to actually invade. Or you can just straight up do this, which might actually be even better. Because, if he's actually trying to do this stuff to make eyes, that's perfectly fine. Just let him make eyes. You're basically making all this territory in the moyo. 8-9Q is a hurdle, honestly. So is like 4 or 5Q. And then like 1-2-3, like 1-2 Dan's another hurdle. So this is a little too passive. Because, like, you have all this great setup here. Remember, like, you gave me this bottom territory in trade for these 4 or 5 stones. So because you gave all this bottom territory, you have to make use of it. Playing this move is not making use of these stones here. Yeah, this is a Sente move that is hard to deal with because, like, if white does this, and he does this, you can just go down this way. Or, like, he can even do this. This is actually, you have to answer. White can just go down this way. And then, like, you're building this moyo over here anyways. And this group is still in a lot of danger. So, I think, like, the point right now, the point of this right now is, like, black does need to be more aggressive. Because black spent a lot of stones building influence. If you don't use the influence is wasted. Playing here is fine. I'm going to play here to get this territory. That's also fine because it does strengthen this group. I'm going to come up here. There's always this move. It's actually kind of difficult for me to connect in there. So now you trap me in there. So now you actually trap me in there. And this group still doesn't feel very good either. It's very hard for me to live in here. So, like, I'm playing these overly aggressive moves to see if you know how to cut and to see if you know actually how to cut and attack me. But if you're spotting your opponent so many points to begin with, you have to make these kind of moves. So you're gonna do this. You don't necessarily use your opponent's stones to build moyo, but yeah, you use the weaknesses in your opponent's shapes to build moyo. That's generally how you build moyo. Because the thing is, here's the thing: a stone on the side is always going to be more efficient than a stone on the center. So you have to use advantages to place your stones in position. If you don't use advantages to place center stones in position, you're generally not going to do too well. So once again, like, this is like a little too passive. See, like, and this is what I mean, and this is actually what I mean by reducing a moyo. Like, when I play this and you play this, I've already reduced your moyo by 2 lines. When I do this and then You do. I don't really know why you did that in the first place. Um, I'm not threatening this side. I think you're a little too afraid of me killing these stones, but your stones aren't that weak, and I can't seal you because my shape is really weak. As my stones aren't that strong. So yeah, you should just cut these two stones if you could. So I think I probably should have just extended in or done this to reduce that moil even more, but I decided to take a safer route because I think this would be too overstretching. So I decided to do that. That's fine. Extend. Now that's a mistake because if I Atari here, I have a good chance of killing these stones. And like if you look at this pocket, like this is maybe like 15, 20 points if you look at this pocket. And I don't think there's actually 15 or 20 points in this region. So doing that, I come here, go over here. This I don't actually think works. Maybe it does. It probably does work. No, it doesn't because you have this, and then if you do that, if you do this now, I might actually be in a bit of trouble, although I don't know how well this works out. It may not. It's a little bit complex because black does have this particular move. And he's out here, so I'm not really sure how all this works. It's kind of a complex situation if you go over there. But the thing is, like in the end, you didn't have to connect here. This you did not have to connect on. I was just fishing for a response. I was fishing for a response here because let's say you just did this or something. There's nothing I can actually do with this. I mean, I can't come out here. Same thing with this. Like if I cut this way, you can just do that instead. I can't cut here. And this doesn't get out. So there's like, you don't really need to be afraid of this cut. This is one of those classic fishing moves that I do to see like if you connect or not. If you connect, I get a huge advantage. If you don't connect, then, like I take a disadvantage. But I'm just betting you'll connect is why I'm doing that move. So I play here. You go down. So I'm trying to like somehow reduce this territory because at this point I know I'm still losing. Come here. Do that. This should be the move because it's kind of sente and then you can just come out this way. That solves like all the problems. If you're looking to fix something, always try to look for a sente way to fix it first. Because you don't want to give your opponents another move. So I'm going to disconnect. You're going to do that. Coming out this way. Yeah, you should just keep extending. Because every time I do this, basically, I'm making the group down here way, way weaker. So extending out this way basically destroys my bottom group. And that's actually worth more than the territory in here. I was actually like wondering what I would do if you actually did this. So a big problem for me. Going here, obviously I'm just going to go here. This you should just take it because this you should definitely take it because if I come out here, you can just cut. There's very little I can do to actually win this fight because I can't. So this is more of reading, but you should most definitely just take this stone because I have to do this and then you just get this territory anyways. Also here, I mean, if you're wanting to protect this group, if you're actually wanting to protect this territory, you just go here. There's not much I can actually do here. So like I'm taking like small advantages away from him. Like something like this, you don't really need to respond to right now. And if you did respond, you would actually play here instead. I mean, this is just letting me take too much advantage. you would definitely just play here instead. There's if I cut, you just Atari me. You know, this is not really something white can actually do to you. So that's another huge advantage you let me take. And then I'm going to play here. The right move is definitely this. I would have actually tried to play this. Now, if I play this, you should actually go this way, because I think white just dies if you do that. Yeah, I think, I'm pretty sure white loses all the liberty battles here. So, yeah, white's just dead. So there's not that much I can do. Wait, hang on, let me get that. Actually, if you just do this, I'm pretty sure I'm dead. That's dead, because this is a fake eye. So, yeah. So, like, the thing is, like, I was planning to do this. So, the thing is, I was planning for you to block so I can actually get this. That was the whole plan here. But it kind of surprised me with this response. I should have gone straight down. But surprised me with this response. That's also a pretty decent size chunk of territory for me. So this is pretty good territory. There is still this move. There is definitely still this move to break up that territory that I played later. And this is actually a pretty big move. That one, I mean, this is like worth 1 point. If I push, you block. So I'm gonna come back here and get all this territory. This is big, but it's not nearly as big in light of what's happening right now. I'm also fishing here. You do not need to respond to this. This is already alive. So I'm like, if I do this and you do this, then I get a small advantage. So I'm just trying to get these advantages. I think going here lengthens out my liberties a lot and basically fixes the problem. You don't want to do that. You never really want to do this because this tightens your liberties, and it could, like, if this liberty is not free, if this liberty is like free, like, it could actually solve a couple of problems later on. This clamp would actually work, yes, but it's not big enough right now. And the thing is, if you want to fix it, I think you would just connect. That's not a Sente move, I don't think. I mean, let me actually check. I wanted to see if this was a Sente move. Like, if I do this, it might be, I guess. Yeah, it is, because I think that white actually wins that. So it might be. I'm gonna play this. Here you should, like, this group is already alive, so you should definitely either play this or play this. Every time, like, in the end game, every time I play a move and you block, I gain a small advantage. So, like, I'm at, plus 8 point, like, before we exchange these moves, it was plus 10.8. After we exchange these moves, you have to, like, it's now 8.5. So the thing is, like, you have to find a way. You definitely have to find a way to get out of that cycle of me always having the initiative. Because the longer I have the initiative, the more points you're going to slowly lose in the end. So that is an overplay by me. That's definitely an underplay. Like, this would cause me a lot of problems, actually. This would actually cause me a lot of problems right now. Because, I mean, the thing is, like, if you go here, right, and you come up this way, and I just take it, I guess this wouldn't be too bad, because, hang on. That might actually be that might be problematic for white. That might definitely be problematic for white. I don't know how that actually. No, I don't know how this actually turns out. Maybe it wouldn't be. So you can keep just going up, and eventually white could probably do something like this. But the thing is, like, white has to block this first eventually, because if white doesn't block that, if he just does that, then this is actually alive. So that's actually a little bit problematic for white. So there's a lot of stuff down here that um, because this isn't clean, like this actually is not a very good move. Playing really passive here, that will actually lose you a ton of points because the points I gain on the bottom are really huge. I don't think I should have played this either because I'm not really under threats, but I connected it anyways. Here, I don't know if that's the best. It's fine, actually. This, though, you didn't need to do that. You could go here and force me to respond. Because if you don't have to connect that. If I push, you can just block, and I can't really do anything. So connecting is another loss. Lets me get the Hane. That's a lot more points. Like, this swap is probably like 4 or 5 points. A lot of this is too passive. Right now, you don't really need to make that move. You'd actually never need to make that move. Because I don't believe there's a way... I might be able to get a few points in here, but like this group is alive, so wouldn't be too afraid of it. I want these points down here. You don't need to connect that. Play here or play here and try to get your points in here. Connecting loses you a couple points too. I'm going to come up here. This you don't really need to answer either. It's not worth enough points. Like, you just do this right away at this point. See, like, you're responding to every single one of my moves, and you don't really need to respond. You need to figure out, like in these in-game moves, you need to think about, like, is there actually a threat when white makes a move? And if it isn't a threat, like, are there bigger moves out there? I think that's the mentality, like, you need to have going into in-game. Does this move require, like, instant reaction? And if it doesn't, what's the biggest move out there? Like, if you work on that, you'll get a lot better at the end game. Like, this really doesn't need to be answered either. I made a mistake here. I should have just done this. This is a lot bigger. And I actually eventually let you get a couple of moves too. This is also not that big, so this is actually much bigger as well. I played this. I played here. This also does not need to be responded to. If you want to respond, you would play here. That's actually just a bad move because it's not worth very much. I should have done that. I think I should have done this actually. I played this, so you can play this, but I can actually extend here, so I wouldn't play that. Just go down. That's fine. That's fairly large. And that's just how this game ends. I think this game is really like you're playing a little too conservatively. You're playing a little too afraid. And that also happens when you're playing a stronger player, but realistically, you do need to play normally. You need to figure out which one of my groups are weak, how you can attack multiple groups at once, and how you can press advantages. Also in the end game, once again, that mentality in the end game of really, like, do I need to answer this move? And if I don't, what's the biggest move? Because that can save you, like, 10, 20 points, 30 points in the end, depending on how the end game goes. So I'm going to play probably one more game today, or maybe 1 or 2 more games. 4 to 14 Q, I can accept any challenge within that group, within that ranking. 4 to 14 Q on OGS. Once again, 4 to 14 Q. I'll. You know, this is the thing about Fox. This is the thing. This is actually the thing I like about Fox. It's that it's much easier. I'll just play handicap 3 here. It's much easier to find games on Fox than on OGS. So, the game is started. Like when I'm playing handicap games, I'll do a lot of these like it's ambiguous whether you need to answer this or not, and I'm hoping you answer it type of moves. It's just my habit. I always open by approaching my opponent after we take the corner points, but you don't really need to. Securing your own corner is fine. Once again, on the high approach, I usually would not actually play this. It's more like if I approach low, you do that. I think you give up a little too much on the high approach if you do that. I don't actually need to respond to that. Oh yeah, I do. Yep, I do actually. Crap. I do actually need to respond to that, don't I? Yeah, I need to respond to this sometime. Actually, gonna just play here right now because if he actually pushes, it might actually be a problem. Strange that he just didn't come immediately down this way. There's not that much territory in the corner because I have this move. It's probably correct. Probably should do this sooner or later. I might have been able to do that first. I'm definitely off on my sequencing on a lot of these moves. This Hane essentially moves these stones out of danger. He made the right move there. I didn't make the right move there, though. In the end, this group is still not alive. You really don't want to play with this too much. The group is alive, but now this cut is fixed in Sente mode, and I can safely just do this. I probably should have invaded the corner, but whatever. Okay, that's fine. That works. It does put this, well, sort of, not really, I guess. It's still kind of alive if I do that. But I gotta reduce his territory some. That's not good. It's fine. Take this time to solidify this territory. It's worth it. I think it's fine because I have that in the mouth, so this should be okay. Plus, if he goes down, I can just retreat, I think. I'm actually okay with jumping. I don't think he can threaten this group here that much because I do have this. And I'm not too afraid about him doing that. I don't think that's the best way to attack these stones. Problems here is you can't block. And you completely let me cut through, so it's not good. And now you have a problem with this. Also, like, this doesn't work because I have the Atari on the other side. Although I can see a really bad way for him to use that. Um, yeah. I think I have enough liberties now. This might not be the best for me. I don't really need to go here anymore, so yeah. This group is in a lot of danger now. Oh, that's fine. Now I need to figure this out. How to make two eyes. There's problems all over the place with this. I just don't exactly know how exactly I'm going to make two eyes. I'll figure it out somehow, but I'm not really sure how at this point. I mean, I have a ko right now. At least to make two eyes. I think I have a ko. I may not, actually. Okay, this actually just lets me live, so that's definitely his mistake. He can't kill these two stones. That doesn't really do anything. He can't kill this eye down here. let me actually take a... If he does that, Atari here. Yeah, he can't actually let me do that. Format this first. See if I can prevent these things. But he might actually want to do that, though. It's fine. I think I'm not going to answer that and just invade down here. I can do this too. This is actually fairly large. Yeah. It's kind of what I thought. He actually has a really bad situation up here. He actually has a very bad situation up here. Better not. Just take the advantage and go home. There is probably something here. I don't exactly know what it is. Now the thing is, like, he can't really block this way now. So it's really problematic for him because he can't block that way. So he can't really block that way. Double Atari is not good for him. That's why he couldn't block that way. The thing is, like, all the decisions here are bad, whichever way you do it. And he does have to answer this. Yeah, so I actually get kind of a reprieve on this as well. This is just, he has to answer. I'm not actually going to try to attempt to kill this right now because I think he has too many liberties. I mean, they're fairly tight, I guess. I don't think I'm just going to take advantage here and do this. And I think he probably has to answer on that. I'm not 100% sure. He might not have to. Hey, that might have been bad by me. I probably should have just left it alone. But I got enough out of that. I got enough advantages out of that to where, yeah, he's just giving me that, so it's fine. Or he's not giving me that, but that's also fine. I'm still alive there. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Am I alive? I might not be alive there. That is indeed problematic. Yeah, because he can actually that doesn't really matter, does it? This is actually a little bit problematic for me now. I can actually give up a couple. I can't give up everything, obviously, but I can give up a couple of things. I can't give up the entire corner, but I can actually give up some things. As long as I'm alive down there, I should be okay. This is where this comes in. Not so handy. Huh. I just dead down there? I might be. I might just be dead down there. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. That is very, very unfortunate. Why would you do that? Oh wait, I can't. That's because I can't do that. Never mind. I think YouTube does. I'm not really sure about Twitchy. I think Twitch does. I'm not sure about YouTube. Okay. I shouldn't have done that. It actually kills my eye here, and it actually puts the entire group in danger, unfortunately. Definitely should not have done that. Yeah, I should have just like went ahead here and come this way. That one also was not a very good move. That was actually a really bad move. But he did respond, so we're good. Did Twitch TV switch? I don't actually think so. I might actually be able to make an eye up here, so it's not that big of a deal. Does this actually work? I don't actually think so. I'm just going to make this eye up here. I think he has too many. I think he does have like way too many. He still has more points than I do, I think. This is going to be way bigger than that. Like, he killed this thing in the corner, and that's something that really kind of sucks. Eventually, I'm going to have to do something here. I don't exactly know what. I think at most this is Seki. I don't actually play 9x9 or 13x13. 9x9 and 13x13 are. I don't really know. I think I've ever played 9x9 or 13x13. It's not really my play. I actually don't have time today to play another game, unfortunately. But next time, yes. This isn't Connect 4. Like 19x19 isn't fully figured out. Yes, the AI is better. The AI is better than human players. That's true, but that's not really Connect 4. The largest board that's truly solved, I think you're right. It is 7x7. I do believe you are right. I think it is 7x7, the largest one that's actually solved. I just have to get rid of this move. How do I make the most out of this? I don't really know. Like, I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't really know what. Like, this is one of the Josekis down here that I personally don't. The life and death situation down here is very tenuous, and I don't personally know it. I think I'm just gonna take all the advantages here. more or less, and that's fine. Wait, does that even work? I think I'm just gonna do that. I don't know how this works. I'll figure this out later. But I don't exactly know how all this stuff works here. That's an interesting move. I mean, it's lit. The chat log disappears soon. I'm fine with taking some advantages. There is something here. I'm like 100%. I'm almost 100% sure that there's something here. I just don't really know it. I just haven't quite figured out what the heck it is. There's definitely something there. Nope, can't do that. I don't think you actually want to fight this. Like, it's not a good code to fight for black. Yep, you do have to connect this. I'm like I said, I'm 100% sure there's actually something in here. It's at least, if not anything else, it's at least Seki. That's not really that. Actually, no, I should have gone down there. Never mind. Um, I don't really know. I haven't really watched Dragon Ball Super myself in a long time. I did like the storyline, as much as a Dragon Ball storyline that there can be, anyways. I do enjoy the DB storyline, but I haven't actually watched Super in itself for in a long time. Said I haven't watched Super in a while myself, so I don't really know which website you would actually watch it at. Um, I don't know. Is DB is Super canon or not? I thought they were canon. I actually thought Super was canon. Movies? I guess. I mean, I guess if you put it that way, yeah, the Super movie isn't really canon, I guess. I think I'm a bit behind here, because this corner is probably bigger than this side by a little bit. I'm not sure. Definitely have to connect this. Don't think you needed to do that. But then again, he might. I think he's ahead by enough that he won't, though. Not a. I can't be 100% sure, but I think he's probably ahead by enough where he won't lose that. It is pretty close. It is very, very close. That's actually the right way to go. There really isn't any other thing I want to do. There is. This is one point. This is not really a point. There's one here. I think I have to do that. No, you. I don't think there is. I think like people might count it for you, but that's about it. That's about right. That's actually so. Right now, that's not the right move, but it actually can be the right move because there's an. Well, I mean, it's it doesn't actually matter. Now that I think about it, it doesn't matter because that's a point and this is a point, so it's kind of irrelevant. He might if he loses by a point, that's why. If he actually loses by 1 point, that is why he loses by 1 point because he didn't need to do that. It does require understanding the position. That is true. I think he probably has more co-threats than me, so it doesn't really matter all that much. Because like he's actually fixed his co-threads pretty well. I have a ton that are still out there like that. Maybe this will determine the game. I don't know. Why don't I show my keyboard? But because it doesn't matter. I don't really want to fight this. I think I'm just going to not fight that because there's no point in fighting this. I doubt I have enough. I doubt I have enough codes to actually fight this code with him. I don't really feel like fighting the code with him. I think I lose by a little bit. Do you think I lose by a little bit? So this down here as well. 7 points here. Oh, I win by 2 points. I didn't count. So it's by the Comey again. Yeah, so this particular game. Once again, it's 3 stones. It's last second small. I mean, I won by the Comey because like the way I give handicap is I pass. So there's always like a 6.5 or 5.5 Comey. So I go under here. Once again, like when this isn't a big deal, but if white does this, this is just better. This is just a better. This is just a slightly better Joseki. If white actually invades lower, then this actually becomes good. Because this just isn't as quite as big as the other one. So white, I invade here. I think this is a slight advantage to me. Also, I think I can just do this. Pretty sure I can just do that. And this cut here is always kind of annoying if I do it later. So I probably made a mistake by doing that. Now, this also I don't really like the prospects of this either. So I probably made a mistake by doing that. Like I should have just played here. Wait for you to Hane, come down this way. Play here, I can just go over here. So I made a mistake there too. Here, I don't really know what to do here. Maybe I should just do this again. I feel like if you do this, I have some issues here. Yeah, I do think white does win that one. Because you have to come here, but there are some issues. There are definitely some issues down here later if you do that. So right now it doesn't work, but there are definitely issues later. I think like this was just a protection move. I shouldn't have played this move. This was a protection move to protect like this thing because I didn't calculate it out right. So here, this is probably the best move. This is probably by far the best move. That's probably the best move here. I think letting you get this is not very good. Here I don't know what I would do here actually. I think this is okay, but extending in is definitely not extending in is extending in. I should have just left this alone, but I did this. You should definitely fix this sometime because this is definitely a weak group here. So you should definitely fix this sometime. Instead of doing this, because this doesn't directly threaten me. Played f4. Yeah, that is, like that is actually a valid play. The thing is, like, I feel like he might be able to play something over here that I have to answer, right? Like, he can play this. I would actually have to answer that. Oh, f4 here. Okay. Yeah, that was the other thing. You can either play you can just play e4 as well. That's perfectly fine if you play e4. F4 and e4 are both fine. There's nothing wrong with playing those. That move I feel like is just way better like used here. You can either extend here, or I would probably just do this as white, as black. I would probably just play here. Like, this sealing this in isn't really that important. Right now, at least. So, yeah, I'm just going to attack this. This is definitely a weaker group. So, I think, like, just fixing this is actually better than this move right now. This one I'm never really sure how to play. Oh, yeah, I should definitely play that. That's what I should play here. That's what I should play. This forcing is no good. I just kind of like, I always forget this for some reason. I always forget this for some reason. Like, this is a better move. Jump here. There's no reason to do this right now. You would definitely want to do something like this and maybe try to attack this. And after you attack that, I would need to go here, and then you would probably go here instead. So that's kind of what I would do if I was black. I would threaten this group first, make him play the corner, and then use that to kind of like threaten these three. Once again, it's about simultaneously attacking these two groups all at once. Hane here generally means this group is safe, although like later on when you built up all the thickness, it wasn't. This doesn't really make any sense. I mean, you want to come out. Your focus should not actually be to make this group alive. You definitely want to come out and attack my weak groups. I'm coming up. This is actually still dead if you don't play it. Because if I just extend down here, I think you're dead if you don't play it. So you have to actually play it. And that gives me room to do that. Connect here. So I don't have to repair this cut anymore. So I got another sente. So I'm going to approach over here. Like, I don't think that was the biggest move. Maybe I should have just invaded this first. Kick, extend, do that. I'm not going to respond there. And I'm going to invade here because this is sort of weak. But remember, these 5 stones are still not that great. I'm going to go up here. This is generally not something you want to do. Like, this is generally not something you want to do as black. I don't think you want to do it anyways. Just going to go ahead and get this territory first. Realistically, though, like, probably jumping out is the best thing to do. I don't think you should respond here. I think there's just way more better attacking moves out here. Jump, do that, jump out more, cover overhead. This is kind of a riskier move. This group is still in danger. Yeah, I would be. I would be scared if I was white. I mean, if the thing is, like, if I'm playing a handicap game, I'm always going to take chances. This could be weak because this is actually like connecting connected now. This definitely could be weak. This is definitely weak. But the thing is, like, like this would make it, something like this would make it a lot stronger. But the problem is, like, if he does this, like, if I let him do that, like, there's essentially no way I can win. So I have to figure something out at this point. That's actually a pretty good move. I'm going to do that. O17 takes the eyes. O17, yeah, it does take the eyes. I can still try to run out this way. At this point, O17 does take the eyes, though. But it's only one eye down there right now. I guess that's okay. I was thinking about that as well, because, I mean, this kind of gives you kind of the same situation, but then black can do that and get all this territory. So that's kind of what I was hoping to avoid as white. Coming up here, that's definitely, like, being able to connect out from here is definitely victory for white, but this group in here is really, really weak. I mean, there's just so many things that black can do here. And if white comes out here, you can just come this way. And like now this is a problem as well. So there's so many things, that actually I wouldn't even do that. I'd probably do this from this side and just come out this way. Actually, white might do something like that. But there's a lot of problems. No, it was never called eyes in Chinese. There's a lot of problems with this white group here. So this white group is very, very weak now. Forcing my way out. Okay. So basically at this point, this connection's, so at this point, this white group's pretty much dead. So that's why that's why I needed to play that. I might have been better off playing this, actually. I don't know. But that's why I decided to play this right now. It's still dead. I think if you do this, I can't really do all that much. Pretty sure, well, no, that's alive, but if I do something like that, it's at most a ko for me to live here. That was a mistake by me, man. I should have just actually, I was trying to, but by doing this, I was actually trying to cut this out. Definitely, but that was a mistake. Because now if you do this, actually, no, like, this is probably alive if you do this, but like, I was trying to save this group as well. Like, I was thinking about, what if you did this? Would I connect? Is this still alive? That would probably not do well. Yeah, like, yeah. If I do think white's okay. Like, but if I do this and you connect, obviously, like, you can't do this because I can just Atari here. But I actually think this is fine for white because black is now trapped in. And if black wants to live, then obviously white's alive. So I think that's actually okay. So I'm going to do that first. Obviously, like, there's this move, and then I can take these three. F19 ko. Yeah, there is the F19 ko in an emergency. Sente there. This was just basically a testing move to see what you would do. I actually, you know what the thing is? I think I actually win if I think I actually would win if I just did this. I'm pretty sure I would win if I just did that right now. That's a lot of territory both here and here. And I think that I have enough territory to win. I just didn't really count it. Because like this is not only like the 15 or so points around here. This is also like making sure this group is actually alive. So I'm pretty sure I should have just done that. Go down here this way. Yeah, because this row is up here, you can't block that way. You have to connect. I was gonna do this. So with this move, I actually don't know. I actually am not sure how you would answer it. This move is actually pretty hard to answer right now. This way does not seem all that satisfying. I think this still cuts though. Yeah, I mean, I can't really do anything here, so it probably still cuts. So maybe just that. Maybe this. Maybe even this. But anyways, this is a pretty big loss for white, obviously. Like I said, I don't actually know about the Joseph. I don't know the life and death situation in this corner. I never really studied it. And I don't think I actually. If I was black, I'm not really sure I would. If I was black, I'm not really sure I would answer this. I don't know the life and situation. I think black might have enough liberties to actually live, and if it's Seki, then it's not worth moving. So I'm not really sure if black needs to answer here. He might, but I'm not assured 100%. But I guess better go over there. Out here. You know, the thing is, what if I just did this? I think I should have just done that. I think I should. If I did this, I think I just connect, right? Because, you know, like I don't think this would actually work. Yeah, that doesn't actually work. So I should have just done that. I severely messed up there. Like this would actually be okay. There's nothing that black can really do. I guess he can do that. Yeah, that might actually be an issue. But you know, the thing is, I can do this. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, because that would kill that, so I can't do that. Yeah, that might actually be it if I did that. Coming out this way. If I do this, yeah, like this and this, I don't know if you can get away from this. Probably not. I think that stuff down there is probably just dead. Because I didn't really see a way out of this. I probably should have just done this and just like gave you these three, more or less, and just give you this side. Because I still think I'm ahead if I do that. Because I lost a lot of points down here. I wasted a ton of points down here getting this together. This was also bad. Like, this was also a really bad move because this kind of like wastes my eye here, so I have to fight this Ko now. So this was really, really bad. That's definitely the right move there. I have to fight this. I have to fight this Ko now to live. Letting me live is just a little too easy right now. This is obviously a big mistake. You can't do that. You just have to kind of do something like this, or even something like this. I don't think you can actually do this. Giving up the bottom on points is like way too much. life and death corner situation here. Realistically, I might have just blocked myself. I don't know if this works. No, it doesn't. It doesn't really work because you can't. Yeah, that's true. You can't really fill in there. So I guess it doesn't work. But you can also do this though. That would be co. Actually, no, it's not co because you have to connect this and then I don't think that's that. Can't white make an eye? I, I have to do this like, you know, the thing is like, yeah, you can make an eye by doing this. You could indeed make an eye by doing that. But I don't know if you would necessarily win, right? I mean, black's still up by 1 at this point, so I don't really know. Like, the life and death situation in this corner is kind of strange. Like, if you want to try to kill, if you were white and you were trying to kill, you would definitely do this move. You can't do that, obviously, but... And black would, I would guess, would try to come down. So I decided to just do this the easy way. These are all fine. These are all just moves to end the game. This is like, this is a bad move. Just go here. I probably will connect, and then this territory is already yours. There's a lot of like small pickly in-game things that you definitely don't really want to do. Like at this stage, I would probably fight the co, but realistically, like you didn't want to do that. I don't think there's anything in here, but it's pretty close. Let's just see. Not that way, but this way, obviously. Yeah, I don't think there's anything in here because you have an eye down here and I don't, so there's actually nothing there. You kind of lost it over here because when I do this, you don't have to answer. Block up here. That's fine. You didn't have to answer that either. There's nothing over there. The rest of it is finishing up, but you did lose. You did lose on the small thing. You did lose on like really small things. Overall, this game was played pretty well. Overall, like you did play this game really well. You did actually play this game pretty well. But I just like small things at the end. Small things at the end. You know, like I think recognizing that this is your only weak group here, and fixing this and making this group weak, like it's a little things like those that will actually like help you in the game a lot. It's little things like those that will help you win the game a lot. Just like recognizing like, you know, these weak groups are here. Recognizing that, you know, what's live, what's not. Is the opponent in the chat? I don't know. They might actually be watching the chat. And then like, of course, like, you know, and of course, like, you know, at the end here with this co, like at the end when I screwed up and I was fighting this co, when I screwed up and when I was fighting this co, like trying to kill white here is obviously the right move. Trying to kill white here is by far the better move because it forces me to fight this co. Like this co isn't that big of a deal for black because black is out here anyways. But white's basically fighting for the entire group. So yeah, that's like trying to kill this group right here is definitely the priority. All right, that's going to be it for today. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications button. I will be back tomorrow, and I will see you guys later. I'll probably be back tonight doing those Fox games, and I'll probably lose a couple because I'm just playing by reflex, but we will do that later. Yeah, it's a pretty solid game from Black. He didn't like he made a lot of errors, but not the kind of errors that I'm accustomed to seeing a lot. So that's the game. So I will see you guys later.